Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Erasmus Expeditions. We are here with an ongoing campaign of ours named Thunder Ridge. This is a fantasy western that is set in a homebrew world of mine known as Caldera. This is going to be session number 12, titled Coalbox Canyon. And we'll find out what exactly that means and why it's called that here in just a little bit. But before we do, it's been a while since we got to play this, so I'm very, very thankful that we're getting a chance to kind of get back in the saddle, as it was. But before we do, I'm going to give the same warning that I give on the beginning of all of my games, and that is if foul language and mature subject matter are a problem for you, or immature humor, then you should not hang out with us here, as sad as that might be. If those kinds of things do not bother you, then take a seat, shit a while, and listen. We're gonna play us a game. What else? I'm gonna pass things over to my players so that they can introduce themselves, plug anything that they might have going on, tell you where you may or may not be able to find them on the internet. And then I think we can roll this barrel down the hill. So we're going to start first with Chatamus Prime.
Hello, Internet. Hi, my name is Chad. You can find me on the Internet, multiple places. Particularly, though, where I fancy myself is this channel right here on Erasmus. You can find me here pretty regularly. And then you can also find me over on MTB on Thursdays playing Kids on Bikes with this goober right over here. Or yeah, this way. Yeah, I don't know. That's how I would, however the camera decides to point. Anywho, yeah, I am playing Virgil Tomb Talon, a Volturan warlock of the God, what was it called? I forget my patron.
The Gallow Tree.
The Gallow Tree. There we go. See, this is how long we haven't played.
It will strike you dead.
Yeah, I'm very, very happy to be back in the saddle with all of these fine folks. It's been a hell of a game. Very, very fun. I wish we got to play a little more, but now we're back in the saddle. We're going at it again. Let's do it.
Hell's bells. Absolutely, man. Very, very excited to be getting back to this, like I said. Especially with what may be coming up this session. This is something I've had planned. Maybe.
I feel like
I've
Jeremy's
had,
been
in the pocket for a while.
He's like, God, how do I end these sessions? Oh, I could do a TPK, and then it just ends the entire story. They have
TPK is never the aim, but it is always an option. It is always a possibility.
We cut to 7 strangers getting off a train. 5 of them will be you all. Figure it out.
Oh, man. Speaking of 7 strangers on a train, next up is Nathan.
I am indeed 7 strangers on a train. That's my new handle. That's where that's not where you can find me. You can actually find me on the socials at Dimension 119. That's where I do most of my socialing. Also, you can find me on what used to be the State of Survival podcast on YouTube. We are now 2 beards and a producer. We don't call ourselves a podcast, even though we're kind of doing the same exact thing we were doing before. We've narrowed our focus down to DayZ and Project Zomboid as our 2 focus games. As far as we talk about the survival aspects of it, sometimes we just cover stories of our own experiences. We recently talked about the new DayZ update that came out, and that episode will be coming out soon. Just that kind of stuff. And then you'll see us do some random survival game updates and stuff like that. Other than that, on that channel on YouTube, I play as much tabletop as I can. Most of the time, it's here on Jeremy's channel. I try not to pass up an opportunity to be in a Jeremy game. So if the offer is put out, and I can't clear my schedule. Short of an emergency, I'm here. I'm on Jeremy's channel. I'm not going to pass up that opportunity. I am playing Dusty Reynolds. Last time I checked, I think I was a coyote, missing an arm, and I may or may not have made a deal with a strange, otherworldly being last time we played. He doesn't want a lot. He only wants what I was already planning on doing anyways, so I'm sure it's fine. All of that to get my my beloved wife back. So surely that won't come back to bite me, right?
Nah, it's fine. Everything's fine. Speaking of fine, next up is Todd.
It's me. I'm Todd. I'm playing Elias Stock, a Owlin gunslinger, and I don't really do the interwebs in terms of socials. I'm here. I play games with Jeremy and team. That's it.
Yeah, man. Hell yeah. I think there are definitely days where I wish I also did not do derwebs. Many days in a row sometimes. But we're here. And we're going to have some fun. I'm sure of it. All right. Speaking of having some fun, next up is Glenn.
Woohoo. I am Glenn. I, similarly to Todd, do not do much of the interwebs. You could probably find me on multi-comp services, bulletin board services, because I run old school like that. And I don't think the number's still up, but if you called it, maybe you'll find it. No, I'm not really on there too much, but I'm playing Padre Marco Escuandolas, formerly Saul, before the heroic and tragic death, saving the party from themselves. Essentially, they had to kill somebody, and I figured I'd be the one they'd kill. Yeah. Other than that, super excited to be back here doing that, and to be back on your channel again. It's been a long time since we've had a game that's worked out schedule-wise for everybody. Yay, adult life. But let's get away from adulting for a few hours.
Here. Speaking of getting away from adulting for a little while. Second Chad. Other Chad.
That suits me perfectly. That's how I stay young. Get away from being an adult as often as you can.
Look at him. He's 74.
This is true. Actually, according to my marriage certificate, I'm 940. So,
Woohoo! Elf.
yeah. So eat that, Steve Rogers. And I similarly do not do the interwebs, but not anymore. But I do still have to plug a place called Absolute Tabletop. It is where I met Jeremy and Chad initially, and have been fortunate enough to be gaming with them for years. And so here I am again. You're kind of stuck with me. And you can find me around here. I've been to MTD once or twice, which is a mini terrain domain, if you missed that. And it's a pleasure always to be here. And I get to play this guy who's may or may not be lucky. So far, his death saves have been. And so he's keeping it. And his name is Lazarus because he wants to come back from the dead. And he's missing an arm and a leg or two, just like everybody else, it seems now. And they're hammered on to a very rather mean and large turtle that we may or may not come across. But it's been a pleasure. And he's technically an artificer, but definitely an unorthodox one, as he likes to fight in his armor. And let's see what Coalbox Canyon has to offer us.
Indubitably. Yeah. Like I said, I'm very excited to get to this game. I know it has not happened in a while, so we will kind of go over a little bit of a recap to kind of touch base on where we are and what's going on. Feel free, if I forget something and you happen to remember, to just throw it out there, because I also am old and forget things.
I forgot we were all like 80% of the group is handy capable now.
It's true. Yeah, there has been a lot of limb loss. going on in the game here.
A lot of body horror in Jeremy's games.
I should have made a deal to get my wife and my arm back. Dang.
You have a sit-in for your hand, at least. Like, I don't know if you want to use that hand as a sit-in for your wife, but
Thought they were the same thing.
All the married guys just got a laugh.
What are you doing?
So, yeah, I think without further ado, we can go ahead and get started. All right, let's do this. I need different music. The Dorathians don't consider the Caldera Territories to be a place. You see, in their beliefs, these lands are a beast all their own. A beast that sleeps, eats, dreams, remembers, and one that can be wounded. They believe that this creature will defend itself if necessary, and that Easterners are walking willingly into its den with no respect for the harm they invoke. Even the early Luzites understood this. As the passage goes, "Lo, should the man who injures the land be warned, for he will be hunted beyond where shelter can be found." Despite the snowed-in conditions here high on the mountain, the population of Thunder Ridge seems lately to have boomed. There's a number of individuals who have arrived here in this sleepy little town as of late. And not the most recent, but perhaps one of the most notable, is the group of 5 individuals that is now on their way out of town. As of late, a new claim has been discovered near the town of Thunder Ridge, and there seems to be more than just a few interested parties. The railroad, chiefly amongst them, seems intent on getting ownership of this claim and connecting Thunder Ridge to one of their rail lines. Seems like their progress in this matter has been somewhat stalled by the 5 caballeros who are now riding outside of town. And there seems to be trouble brewing, both on a personal level for some of them, such as Lucky's friend, Captain Morgraph, showing up, as well as kind of on a fundamental level. Seems like the demographic of Thunder Ridge is going to probably change forever. Recently, you have learned that the sheriff, the woman who was sheriff whenever you arrived here in town, has been displaced, and seems rather distraught over that fact. You may or may not have convinced her to take your side in matters whenever the time may come. So you are headed now to a place known as Coalbox Canyon. And you've been near Coalbox Canyon before. Very early in our campaign, you robbed a stagecoach that was on its way here, just above Coalbox Canyon. And through the tussle that unfolded around this robbery, the stagecoach itself, and I think at least 1 or 2 of the people inside of it, ended up down inside the canyon. So you have at least seen parts of Coalbox Canyon, but you also have heard the rumors that there is a creature that lives in the Coalbox Canyon called the Dragon of Coalbox Canyon. And for better or for worse, you have now decided to venture there. So, is there anything else that I need to fill in as far as blanks or bits of the story that you may be forgetting or that you may remember yourselves as a part of our little recap here?
I'll probably ask for a lifeline later.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'll be here all night.
I
When
had
it matters.
things written down, but you know what?
We did do our visit to Primrose, right?
You did. Yep.
Okay.
You broke the news of Soul's passing to her, and she seemed to take it well. I think the furniture in the room that she was in did not take it so well. But yeah. I believe there was some discussion of making sure that she was taken care of.
We give her a ticket or something.
I believe so.
Remembering that right?
Yeah,
A ticket back east to Edgestone.
Yeah, to the city that she was going to go to or whatever to get her out of the town.
Yep. Okay.
Ironically, on the same train we're trying to stop.
Probably. At least part way.
Conviction only goes so far. I mean, it's a long walk.
Yep. What is the Wellington Rails is the rail line that's built out here in this general neck of the woods. Okay. So, is there anything that you're wanting to do or that you're saying along the trail as you make your way towards Coalbox Canyon? Where do we find the five of you?
I
think,
imagine we were looking for like shelter in Coalbox, right? Because we knew we had to get out of town, and like we're heading into Coalbox to find like a new hideout, right? I think.
Yeah, I think that was the intent. The town had gotten basically flipped to a company town overnight, right? While you guys were in the ruins, and then we met up at the mission. But we packed up everything from the mission. I don't think we have anything there.
Correct.
Yep,
Yeah.
we had to. Yep.
You'll dug up the
Dug up all the platinum.
And I think buried soul there.
Yes.
Yeah, probably.
I believe so.
Yeah.
Yes. 'cause
Not
I
before
believe I gave
harvesting the
la-
crystal, which was good.
Yeah, because I
Right.
believe we gave last rites and Primrose was there. Yeah, if I remember correctly, that was last session. Yeah.
And then yeah, so I figure we have the canyon to set up some, like, the choices are basically the canyon or the First Nations
Right. Yeah, with the Dorathians.
Dorathians, could not
Oh,
remember
what
their
was
name.
Trying to remember the name of their place.
But Marco doesn't have any dealings with them, so I think that's where, like, we had a conversation on going to the canyon. Not that I have ever experienced that either, to be honest with you. It's all sightseeing for Marco.
Yeah, the local tribe is called the Jengis. And it was their winter camp that you were hanging out at. What is... okay. So yeah, the five of you are mounted on horseback, making your way towards where you hope to find a place to be able to kind of make a hideout. But you know that the very same reason that Coalbox Canyon is going to make a good hideout also makes it a dangerous place to try to call home. You know, this dragon seems to be sufficient at keeping most people away from here, from being foolish enough or brave enough to venture into this canyon. You might even think that to yourself, that you're either brave or foolish as you kind of commit and ride into, the opening of this canyon. Coalbox Canyon is a winding, narrow box canyon riddled with caves. Coalbox Creek flows through the middle of it, from where its hot springs bubble up at the canyon's end. As you move deeper into the canyon, you see more and more bones. Deer, goat, horse, buffalo, bear, and humanoid. You also see a handful of broken wagons, including a stagecoach. It looks a little familiar. As you are making your way through this narrow, debris-ridden canyon, is there any kind of thoughts that are being voiced? Is there anything your characters are doing?
Were we under any kind of impression of what color dragon it was? Just
No.
that there's a dragon.
Right. You would also know that, like, other than this rumor, nobody's seen a dragon in, like,
It's a myth.
hundreds of years.
Do not believe in such things.
There would be a way that I have any kind of book or history that I've either already read or it could be reading now on the ride.
Potentially, yeah. Again, a lot of them are going to be, third-hand accounts, second-hand accounts. They heard a tale of somebody who, once saw one, and it's very much the way that, medieval tales of dragons were written. There isn't a you crawl into its den and fight it kind of thing. There is you see it and you run if you're lucky.
Does anybody else have sticky fingers over any of the broken wagons, especially the one that we contributed to? Or eyes, maybe not.
Yeah, I mean, I think obviously I think that Virgil is always kind of like a magpie in a way. Like his Voltran nature does not allow him to not be a scavenger. So he would definitely every little glint of gold is something that like definitely still speaks to him. So yeah, I think he would definitely kind of keep an eye out for the detritus and like kind of looking through it, sifting through it, seeing if there's anything that might catch his eye in any of these fallen carts or scattered bones.
Yeah. Give me an investigation roll.
Investigation roll. Okay. Well, I don't have any bonuses to investigation, but you know what? That's okay, because sometimes it's worth taking the risk. Not great.
Risk it for the biscuit.
Not great, but that'll be a 13.
Okay. So, you definitely find evidence of like paper banknotes and things that are kind of like scattered around, bundled up against this kind of rock, maybe not quite so covered in snow here or there, but most of the banknotes that are made of paper have deteriorated or become such a soggy, like um, bundled mess that it's really not going to be worth, trying to take much of it. You do find a few gold dragons lying around, actual coinage. So go ahead and roll me a D100, please.
Okay, sweet. D100 is go. That is a. Oh, I almost thought it was a 96. That is a 16.
16.
Yep.
Okay. So roll me 46.
46. Okay. Okay, not bad. So 14 all up.
14. Okay. So you actually, for whatever reason, largely find mostly copper. You find 1,400 copper pieces worth of various treasure. Not all of it is coin.
Okay.
But essentially that is what your take is from the various different accidents that were left behind.
Okay. Perfect.
Okay. Those of you who are not Virgil, if you could please roll me perception checks. I forget that y'all are all animals. If you have something that is based on hearing, it would apply in this situation. Something gives you like advantage or what have you.
Nat 20 plus 5.
Okay.
That
Elias
is
is
why
all in.
he's my sharpshooter. There's a reason why I keep Elias as my sharpshooter.
Yeah, I
Okay.
think I had an 11.
All right. Dusty, you rolling? What you got?
Perception, right?
Correct.
I think Dusty is too distracted playing the scene with this guy with the giggling banjo over in his head, trying to figure out if the fact that he asked him, the fact that he offered to bring his presumably dead wife back for essentially what he's already planning on doing doesn't really seem right to him now that like that situation has passed. It seems too easy. So that's how I'm flavoring my roll of 5.
Okay. Yeah. So Dusty and Marco don't really notice anything at all, other than what was noted: the bones, the broken carriages and wagons. Lucky and Elias, you are paying closer attention to your surroundings, and the thing that has really started to kind of dawn on you, that you have realized, is not any particular sight or sound that draws your attention. It's actually the distinct lack of any kind of like other noise, other than like the babbling of this creek that is like cutting through this canyon. It is as quiet as a tomb out here. There's no birds. There's no small wildlife. There's nothing other than you in this canyon, it would seem. Okay. you continue to press on further down into the canyon. Eventually, you reach the end of this kind of winding gorge where it kind of opens up a little, widening out in a not circular but more oval kind of shaped end to this box canyon. And you can see where the water is bubbling up out of the ground. You know, the area all around it in the center, the snow has been kept at bay. Every so often, there will be a geyser of like steam and hot water that kind of like shoots upwards several feet into the air, kind of bathing the area in a low-hanging mist that kind of seems to hang for a while. Throughout your journey into the canyon, you've noticed little caves here and there, little, pocks in the rock, both here on the ground level as well as like higher up towards the edge. But here, towards the back of this canyon, you see a pretty sizable cave. And you can see something inside of it. You see, at first, maybe what you think is stone, but then you realize it has a pattern to it. Scaly.
It's a building.
What fine architecture. What? It's a body, I'm assuming, that is scaled. How well
You
is
could
it
say that.
seen?
Yeah.
Is it dark? So it's
The
not
cave
easily
is
seen?
very dark. Yeah, the only thing you can see is a part that looks like maybe a tail. That's kind of like curved kind of across the mouth of the cave, not far inside of it.
I would put up a mage hand. Like whatever passes for holding, either like putting a hand out in front of everyone, or like if we know any kind of symbols, the marching order to stop. My character and I've been in the military, I would know that, but I don't know if we've communicated that. Whatever we have communicated in the past to make
I imagine
them like,
there's some kind of like, fairly obvious hand sign, hand gesture that it can make that most people would be able to interpret as a maybe we should stop.
and then it would like point towards the cave.
Everybody, if you would, please, roll me stealth checks. Keep in mind that if you are wearing certain kinds of armor, that you may have disadvantage on this check.
Think.
Okay. Elias with a 13. We got a 19 from Lucky. We got a 15 from Dusty. We'll get Virgil's here in just a minute. 16 from Marco. Okay. So, you've all kind of halted, thanks to Lucky kind of pointing out that he has seen this. And you're all trying your best to stay as quiet as you possibly can. But unfortunately, this is a rocky canyon. There's nothing but stones and snow all around you. So So it's difficult to maneuver hardly at all, with horses especially, without making some kind of noise. And in the cave ahead of you, you see a pair of slitted golden eyes alight in the darkened cave that look in your direction. You hear a low rumble, almost a tremor, and then you see more eyes. Several pairs of eyes that illuminate the darkness. That tail-like structure that you see across the mouth of this cave begins to move left to right along the ground. I would like all of you, please, to roll initiative. What is this music? This is not going to cut it. Okay. Marco's got a 15. Marco, I will need a d6 with you, please. Dusty got a 22. Okay.
I'm sitting here realizing how little offensive abilities I have. I don't have very many defensive abilities either, if it's fair. But yeah, a bard.
Another 22.
I got a nat 20 on my roll, and
All right, Dusty and Virgil, I'll need a d6 between the two of you, please.
Okay.
I'm happy to let Virgil go
Virgil
before
go,
me
okay.
with the nat 20. My base was an
Alright.
18.
okay.
It works. Lucky, what you got?
I thought you saw I put a 14.
Oh, I did not. Okay, thank you. Okay, and then Elias. Do I have Elias's? You got a 17?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, we've got everybody. Chad, did you see what is going on? Did
I
you catch
have
that?
a theory that the canyon itself moved. So we're fighting a fissure, y'all. It's a fissure
So, not quite.
with eyes. Okay.
You're looking into a cave currently, and
A
you
place that we could
saw
call home. Yep.
you saw a set of eyes begin to glow inside the cave,
Ooh.
and then you saw several sets of eyes open.
Okay. Great.
So,
Yeah, that's not good.
Wonderful.
Virgil,
Yeah.
it is your turn first.
Well, gosh dang, that's wonderful. I forgot that I'm a warlock, and warlocks are only good for their cantrips because
Fireball?
because their spells are very minimal. No, we can do this. We can do this though. I want to hit him hard and fast, I think. I want to hit this thing hard and fast. Yeah. Yep. It'll be I think on my first go, I'm gonna hit it with why not? We'll just burn it. Big and bad. This thing is huge. So we're gonna try. I'm gonna shoot for using my witch bolt. So I'm gonna get into I'm gonna tuck down movement wise. I'm gonna tuck down somewhere behind a boulder or behind a rock somewhere. Obviously like hopping off my horse and then like sliding into cover behind there. And then I'm gonna try to shoot out a witch bolt and see if I can hit this thing. And hopefully we can do some hefty damage to it.
Remind me, what is
Yes, indeed.
the distance for Witch Bolt?
Distance for witch bolt is 60 feet.
60 foot. Okay.
Yep. So we got a 16 on the die plus 7. So it'd be 23 to hit. You know?
Will absolutely hit.
All right, cool. And then it says 40, 12. I don't usually like letting the computer do all my damage, but you know what? Because I have Beyond on here, why not? Let's see what it brings up. Oh, 2 1s and 2 11s though, so that's 36 plus an additional 4, so total of 40 damage. As you watch as Virgil sort of like coasts in, slides down, seeing the 4 heads, he's gonna aim more towards center mass of this thing, even though he doesn't know yet what the center mass is. He's gonna try to light up the center of the canyon, like the center of that crevice, with this witch bolt. And you watch as he takes out his gun, he takes out his, I forget what I used as a focus. I know what I have. But he takes out, what does he have in his inventory that is his focus? I forget. He takes out his gun he takes out his he does have a wand. Okay, he does have a wand. You watch it as he takes out this wand, which is basically the gnarled stick from the gallow tree, like a gnarled stick from the gallow tree, and he points it at this creature, and a sickening green lightning bolt, you watch it as like almost like an aurora borealis, shoots out from this tip, and it's like a sickening toxic green looking witch bolt, and it just arcs this streak of lightning into the center of the cave, and it holds there like trying to shoot an electric noose around this creature's 4 or possibly more heads.
Okay. The Dragon of Coalbox Canyon is going to go ahead and use one of its legendary actions to coil. As you notice, the part that was kind of growing across the mouth of this cave, all of a sudden a second one kind of appears above it, and the two seem to kind of like tighten on one another as all of the heads kind of like lower down, almost hunkering down behind these coils, similarly to how Virgil is behind a rock. Okay. That's what it's going to do for its legendary action, and that brings us to Dusty's turn.
What are the chances I can get within 20 feet?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Do you want to? That's the question.
I mean, not really, but it's the only way I'm going to be useful at this point, so...
Godspeed.
You know what? I'm going to jump off the horse, and I'm going to run to the edge of the cave, like the cave mouth, and see if I can position, not directly towards the cave mouth, but see if I can position myself to one of the sides, of the cave mouth, where I'm kind of like near the entrance, but I'm not directly in the opening. And I think I'm just going to post up there and ready in action. If this thing sticks a head or any other limb out, my dagger is going to fly.
Okay. How far away are you trying to be from this creature? 20 feet?
I am trying to be within 20 feet of whatever may
Within
come
20
out
feet.
of the cave mouth.
Gotcha.
You know, like maybe to the 20 feet to the side of the mouth of the cave, or 15 or something like that.
Okay, perfect. All right. Dusty posts up next to the opening. There is now going to be a layer action on initiative count 20. All right. Hot springs. Steam erupts from the surrounding hot springs within 120 feet of the creature. Each creature in the area needs to make a dexterity saving throw. All right, Dusty. All right, 11, Marco.
At least it
8.
happened before. I'm concentrating
Lucky.
on spells.
16, Virgil. Okay.
Holy crap, all of these suck.
I'm not feeling too good about this, guys.
Dex save
Yes, sir.
15.
15. Okay. So, Elias and Virgil are the only two that are going to pass. The rest of you are
Are
blind for the round. Steam goes shoots up out of several crevices and cracks, all kind of around this kind of end of the box canyon. Several of you catch like jets of steam like straight into your face, and you are having to like wipe away all of this like scalding water droplets from your face, and your eyes are not able to focus this round. Elias, it is your turn.
Guess I'm going to attack it with my rifle.
Okay. Shoot your
16.
shot.
16 to hit.
A 16. A 16 would have normally hit. However, because it took the legendary action to coil, it actually granted itself +2 to its AC, so that actually misses this round.
Okay. I will do my second attack. That is a 20.
That will bypass even its added AC.
Cool. 19.
19 points of damage. Oh yeah. Okay. Do. What is with this playlist? Who did this? Okay, that is also means that happens. All right, Elias, 2 reports from your rifle crack out, echoing off of the rocks of this canyon. The beast uncoils itself and emerges from its cave. And you see for the first time the dragon of Coalbox Canyon in all of its glory. Marked similarly to a rattlesnake, it is,
that's
in
cool.
fact, a hydra that emerges from this cave. Ignore the crystal tail for whatever reason. It has in the place of its crystals, it has a giant rattle on the end of its tail. It emerges from its cave, triggering Dusty's readied action. So, Dusty, you can let your dagger fly.
I am blinded. Would I still be able to do that?
You can still
can
make the
throw shit
attack.
blinded.
You would just be at disadvantage. Yeah.
Okay. Well, here we go. This can't go wrong.
We're starting off strong, guys. We're starting off real strong. So proud.
I'm gonna go ahead and roll with disadvantage anyways, but I'm not sure it can get much worse than what I just rolled. But just in case.
Do you have inspiration just in case?
Fate says, "Hold my beer."
That's a 9 total. I rolled a 2.
Okay. Your arm was kind of cocked back, waiting, and you get this blast of steam, and you kind of reach your arm up to shield your face, your eyes the best you can, but you hear the monster exiting the cave, and you just decide to let go anyways. You throw, and you just hear your dagger, king, 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 bouncing harmlessly off of the rocks on the other side somewhere. Okay.
And then it does come back to me. I'm not sure how I catch it blindly, but thanks to Lucky, it does return to my hand.
It's just embedded in your palm.
Pointy side first.
It actually connects to your artificial hand that he made you. So you're good to go.
Oh yeah, it's just like a refrigerator magnet. Ting.
Perfect.
I can do this all day.
Okay. It has emerged from its den, and it is going to slither its way out into the open space of this Coalbox Canyon here. And let's get this party started. Those of you within a 30-foot radius of this, so it's definitely going to be Dusty, Virgil. Elias is probably outside of that, I would imagine. He's probably keeping distance with his rifle. And I'm going to say that Laz and Marco are probably within that as well. So I need the 4 of you that I named to roll Constitution saving throws, please.
Oh, I felt good, and then I saw Chad being fucking Big Daddy there. Holy shit.
Okay, one more I'm missing. Who am I missing?
Nice. This was con, right?
It is a con save.
Okay.
Okay, so everybody passed except for Dusty. So those of you who passed, will take half.
Oh shit.
Dusty, you will take full. Full is 10 points of thunder damage, as the Dragon of Coalbox Canyon uses its Death Rattle ability. This tail that it has kind of emerges out from between this coils of its body. And again, we all know what a rattlesnake tail looks like, but this is probably the length of a horse. As this thing emerges and starts to shake violently, and the amount of noise that it generates, especially here in this enclosed rocky canyon, is just deafening to your ears. In addition, Dusty, to taking the full damage, you are also knocked off of your feet and thrown 10 feet back away from the creature.
Hey, I would have missed you now.
You do notice, as this Hydra emerged from its cave, that of the I rolled this randomly, 11 original heads that it had. 2 of them seem to be lifeless and are being kind of like drug with the rest of the beast. However, you can see that there's already a single head that is starting to regrow quickly, almost as if it was molting right before your eyes. So it gets some of those and one of those. That was its first turn. Marco, you're up. Marco? Glenn?
Oh, sorry.
You're good.
I was thinking in thought, and I was like, I don't know who he's talking to, but it's
You're
me
waiting
now at
for
this
you're
portion.
waiting for Soul's name to be called, I'm
Yep.
sure.
Well, I'm also blind, and not a
That is
lot you
also
can
fair.
do when you can't see as a bard, which is odd. But I think technically, because I don't need to see myself to self-cast, I can pop a quick. Oh no, healing word's a bonus action, and I don't want to use that on me right now. Instead, what I want to do is give a shit. I'm gonna give a bardic to Virgil. So let me go ahead and pop that as my bonus action. Too many things. So we did not rest after leaving town, right? We have not had a long rest or anything yet.
I think you did at some point, heading to
Oh.
town or being in town. You should have started full.
We marked it as a long rest because we had done all of like the procession with Primrose and the
Got it.
funeral and
Mhm.
stuff. So that would have been
So good. Then I'll just burn the one that I already had set there, have that on Virgil.
sweet.
Movement while blind in this canyon. Am I able to like scurry away, crawl, like?
Yeah, certainly. You have to kind of go slow, a little, take it easy. But you can certainly put some distance between you and where you think this creature is.
Yeah, I kind of want to move back and to the side towards, like, if I can get to an edge of a canyon, then great. But if not, I'm going to move 30 feet sort of backwards and to the right, let's say.
Excellent.
And try not being blind next round. That's my intent. Like washing hot water in my face, just making it worse. Yeah, I think that's what I can do at the moment.
Okay. It brings us to Lucky's turn.
I'm gonna see how lucky he can be being blind and try and ride the horse and spur it into the direction of this thing. So I think that'd be more about if it has a fear of snakes or not.
Give me animal handling.
Oh. I mean, I am one, but I'm not good at handling other ones. So 15.
15, okay. So your horse is not happy at all about being forced to get closer to this thing. But you've apparently worked it out well enough with your horse to convince it that that's what it just needs to do.
I'm gonna just at least get it going in that direction.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I'm about like 15 feet away, I'm gonna use my racial ability to hippity hop off of its back. So he like got up on its back on 2 feet and then hopped off. And I'm gonna try to bring the thunder by doing booming blade. But it'd be more of a booming fist in this case because it doesn't specify a bladed weapon, and my weapon is my thunder gauntlets. So how does that not work? And he's gonna bring it down.
Okay. Just remember you are
attempt.
blind, so it will be at disadvantage.
Correct, Mundo. for an 11 with disadvantage.
And that will miss.
And then I will attempt to hit it again
Okay.
with my extra attack
Mm-hmm.
for a 13 at disadvantage.
Will also miss. So you leap off of your horse and come down with this fist, and you slam it into a rock and split this rock in half. And then as you kind of like stand up and jab in the direction that you think this creature is, you meet nothing but air and steam.
But I am hopefully within range of it, closer than anyone else. So hopefully, blindly. And I could bonus action with my offhand because that was an action with Booming Blade. So I will do that as a disadvantage as well. Oh, then I wasted a nat 20 right there for 14.
Is also a miss.
All right. Oh, he has
That
to
one
try.
glances off of some scales at least.
All right. So I know I'm in the place I need to be. So that's all I need for Mr. Lass.
Okie dokie. Now that you have closed with it, it's going to use one of its legendary actions to strike. And it is going to spend 2 points in order to allow 2 of its heads to make bite attacks on you. They are both coming at you, Lucky. Consider yourself lucky. Or not.
Hopefully.
Does blind grant attackers anything against you? We give them an advantage on attacks against you?
I think
Don't
it gives them
think
like a guilt issues.
so.
You're picking on a blind kid.
I mean, it's a snake. He's already got self-loathing issues.
They have disadvantage because they feel bad.
But not the head that attacked me. So
They have multiple personalities, so they're like, some of them are like, no, don't hurt him. Some of them are like, nah, this dude's blind. We're gonna take advantage right now. Go.
Attack rolls against the creature have advantage.
Yeah, I was just gonna say. I think in 5e it's advantage for if you're blinded.
It is indeed.
But
What
you have
is your
something like
AC,
tremor sense or something.
Lucky?
put it in there.
Oh, perfect. 19. All right, let's see what it's got. 2 of the same number. That is going to be a miss on the first one. So this first head comes slamming down, trying to bite you, and completely misses you. However, just as you feel the hot breath from this snakehead narrowly miss you, a second one comes in and buries its fang directly into your shoulder. You're going to take piercing damage to the tune of 11 points. And I need you to make a Constitution saving throw, please.
Nat 20 plus 6, 26.
Nat 20. Fantastic. When it bites you, you feel something enter your body at the wound. You can feel it kind of starting to course its way through your veins. However, thankfully, maybe, perhaps, that not all of you is organic. You manage to ignore the effects of whatever this venom was going to do. Okay. That was its legendary action. We are back to the top of the round. Virgil, it is your turn.
Okay, so I'm gonna do a 1-2 punch. The witch bolt is still going, so that'll be, because it's still going, I can use a bonus action to do another, as long as it's still attached. I can do another 1d12 damage to it. So I'll use that.
Is it?
But
It is a bonus action.
It is a bonus action to just continue, because it doesn't let go as long as I'm still concentrating on it.
Right, and as long as
So,
you're still within the
yep.
range and everything.
Yep. So then I'm also going to take in my offhand, or in my other hand, I'm going to take the opportunity to pull the gun and cast my Eldritch Blast through the gun and do 2 Eldritch Blast shots at it. So we're going to try and maximize the level of damage I can do here.
So, and is there something that gives you the ability to do Witch Bolt as a bonus instead of the normal action that it takes?
Well, no. So it's already cast, right?
Right.
So the way it works is like the way I've always read Witch Bolt, and maybe I'm wrong, but it says on each subsequent turn, you can take a bonus action to deal 1d12 lightning damage to the target.
Are you looking at 2024?
Potentially.
Not. I don't have legacy. Yeah, so this would be the 2024 one. Yeah.
Okay, that's the difference then. Got it.
And I don't have the legacy.
I think it's a D12 for the
1d12 lightning damage.
Yeah,
for the legacy
in 2014 it was an action.
Oh, in 2014 it was an action. Yeah. So now it's a bonus action.
That's where the rub. Okay, got it.
Yeah. So that's why I read it. I was like, oh, cool, I can do that. And then
continue. Please.
And then I'm going to use the Eldritch Blast. I'm going to do it twice and try to hit him twice for the Eldritch Blast. Okay. So that's a 20 to hit for the first one. Okay, and then let's see if that should hit. That should be 19 to hit.
Will also hit.
Okay. I was like,
so you got damage, lightning damage from your Witch Bolt, and then 2 Eldritch Blasts.
Yep. So the first Eldritch Blast, 14. Full max damage on, or 14 damage on that, and then 13 damage on the next one. And then the 1d12 for the Witch Bolt. Here, I'll go in here. Come on, baby. Oh, boo. Only 7. So that's 14, 13, 7. And with the Eldritch Blast, since I hit him twice, every time I hit him, he is losing 10 feet of movement per.
Okay, so he's at minus 20 for his speed?
Minus 20, yeah. At minus 20, because I have the Lance of Lethargy on right now. I have the Lance of Lethargy as one of my Eldritch evocations. It says, once on each of your turns, when you hit a creature with your Eldritch Blast, you can reduce the creature's speed by 10 feet until the end of your next turn. So it's only 10 feet. He would only be reduced by 10 feet because it's once per each of my turns.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But if I hit him again, I could make it a 20. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. So your Eldritch Blasts zoom out again from this wand, I'm assuming?
No, the Eldritch Blasts come from the gun.
Your gun. Okay, excellent.
The gun, yep.
Pull out this revolver and let loose 2 Eldritch Blasts. Find their mark, in addition to continuing to send electrical current through this connection, this tether that you have kind of like formed with this beast. You can watch like the muscles underneath its scaly body kind of like contract anywhere that your magic is making contact with it, almost sending like this like weird kind of ripple out from the place where you are injuring it. Dusty, it is your turn.
I got knocked 10 feet away.
Correct.
Right. So I believe that Dusty's going to stand up, regain that 10 feet, so get within 20 feet again, and launch my dagger a couple of times. Need to check something too. Okay. Well, I'm gonna use my inspiration on that. Okay, that's gonna be a 24 to hit.
Will hit.
A D4 for 10 damage on that one.
Okay.
And then I'm going to use my second attack. That's only going to be a 15 to hit.
Will hit.
Sweet. 7 damage on that one. And then I'm also going to use a superiority die to do my quick toss maneuver, which will allow me a bonus action to throw my weapon again.
Okay.
That's going to be a 25 to hit.
Will also hit.
For 9 damage, and then I think I get to add my superiority die to that too. Yes. Which is a D8. So that one's going to be 11 damage total.
Superiority die was an additional 2.
Yes.
Okay. Wow. That was a hell of a combo from the two of you.
And that is all the same dagger. So it is literally Dusty launching that, it flying back, and like as it's flying back towards him, he's catching it and launching it again 3 times.
Captain Boomerang over here just
Basically like a one-tooth chainsaw blade. Like this. Okay.
I think I'm actually going to step back that 10 feet again if I can. Actually, I don't know if I have quite enough movement to go the full 10 feet, but so I guess thematically he'll just take a couple steps back.
Okay. You had moved within 20?
Yes.
Okay. Then it will not be able to take an attack of opportunity against you.
Because it's half my movement to stand up, right?
Correct. Mm-hmm. From prone.
Yeah, so I would only be able to move like 5 back, so I'd be roughly like 25 feet away at that point.
Got it. Got it. Okay. It is going to take a legendary action at the end of Dusty's turn. This will be the last of the ones that it gets for this round, to coil again, as it brings all of its body kind of up into a mountain, where it lowers its heads kind of towards the protection of this. It gains a +2 to its AC. It cannot take its strike legendary action until after the end of its next turn, which it's out of legendary actions anyways. And while coiled, creatures provoke an opportunity attack from the Hydra when they enter its reach. For all of you who are playing along at home.
Yay!
Okay, that was the legendary action that it's going to take after Dusty's turn. Initiative count 20, there is a layer action. It is going to do a quick rattle. Each creature within 120 feet of the Hydra must succeed on a strength saving throw.
Oh, that's the one I'm the worst at. Well, not often you get to say one, not that.
Within how many feet?
120. It'll be all of you.
Okay.
Yeah. -19 minus 2.
Glenn, mine was a nat 1, so
Oh.
I made up for it.
Nice. Yeah, I have a -1 to strength, so I was like, oh, not often you get to do that.
Yeah, -2.
Yeah.
We're
Probably
not very
doesn't help
tough.
much, but it's a 6 total if that helps.
we act tough, y'all. We act tough, but the actual strength and musculature of this group is not there.
We're more wiry.
We need a big bulky, like we need a warthog. I need a big bulky dude.
Oh, I've played 2 support roles now. Next one, I'm a fighter. Like I'm a straight up barbarian.
You're like,
Like-
screw being a support. No
My
more.
armor
Character
may look
3 is
big.
just a meat shield.
Okay. Who did I not get a roll from? Who I got?
I got a 14.
Oh, you got a natural 1, Nathan. That's what you said. Not that I'm trying
Listen,
to rub
it's a
salt into that.
6
So he's the
total, you know,
tiebreaker
it's-
between us. He won.
It's a 6. Okay, let's get real.
I feel like Dusty would have the best. I don't know why, but I feel like it's a tie between like Dusty and Laz for
So
strength. but
Chad,
I
you
don't think so.
you do have Bardic also. That's a D8 if you want
Oh.
to pass.
Oh yeah, let's do that.
See, Chad, the problem
So-
is Dusty's like a knife thrower character, so I put, even though I'm a fighter, I put my strength and dexterity.
So that's
So
an
say-
18 then.
Save the bardic inspiration for now, Chad,
Okay.
because you passed
Okay.
without it.
Oh, I did. Okay.
Yeah,
Um,
the DC is 1. That's wild.
The DC is 1. The DC is
No.
just 1.
14 was the number you were looking for, so
Oh, okay,
you're good to go. That means that the pair of Chads both passed. Everybody else failed.
Hey.
Failure means you become restrained. The sand that forms the bottom of the ground begins to shift, almost becoming liquid itself, and swallows your feet and your lower legs before it re-solidifies and holds you in place. In order to escape this condition, it will take an action. As this rattle again kind of emerges from the center of this coil, and instead of violently shaking, it just gives this small little imperceptible vibration, and as it does so, the ground just, like I said, almost liquefies until you begin to sink into it, and then it stops and you realize with horror that your feet are under the ground.
Slow sand.
Liquefaction.
Okay.
Call that
That was-
Cascadia.
Is it really?
Oh, no, Cascadia, because those who live in Washington are just waiting for the liquefaction from that giant earthquake.
Oh.
One of these days, Rainier's gonna have its day, and the rest of us are gonna be like, "Well, guys, we're not gonna be able to play for a bit."
Yeah.
Thanks.
Well, especially you in Puyallup.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be like, "Hey, I'm gonna be gone to the coast for like 4 weeks."
Well, the
Who
coast
knows
is
if
going to come to you.
Who knows if I have a house when I come back?
Okay. Elias, it is your turn.
Sweet. I am going to attack. That definitely missed. It was a 10.
Are you one of the ones that is you are currently restrained, yeah?
Yeah, but that's just my feet, and I'm a sharpshooter. So
Okay.
I got my hands. Or my wings.
Alright,
the second attack was a 25.
that will definitely hit.
All right. And that was 12 points of damage.
12 points. All right. I keep forgetting to describe the fact that this thing is losing heads. Like the heads are dying as you are dealing damage to it.
Oh, sweet.
It
But they
does seem
grow
to be growing them throughout its turns, but it seems to be losing them faster than it is gaining them. That is for sure. Okay, you did 19, you said?
12. But I'll
12.
take the 19.
12 is the... Oh, I don't want to say that.
Okay. 12, 12, 12. Yeah, it just lost another head. Let's see, that was... and then... Just lost... Okay. It now only has 6 heads remaining at this moment. A little more than half of what it started with. Okay. That was Elias. It is the dragon's turn. There are 6 heads of this thing. Each one of them is going to try to bite one of you. Who all is restrained? Everybody except
I'm restrained,
for...
but I was like, I should be almost 50 feet away now.
Okay. That is
I'm
true.
restrained but 80 feet
You
away.
are 80 feet, yeah. Okay. So I think it's Lucky and Dusty.
I should be restrained in about 25 feet away.
Okay.
26 if it matters.
Lucky is going to bite you. Dusty, what is your AC?
Still 19.
15,
Oh,
yeah.
Dusty, my bad.
15, you said?
Yes.
Okay. Misses you. Lucky, however, you did get bit. You're going to take piercing minimum 6 points of piercing damage. And I need you to make a con save again.
$11. But I'm going to use my reaction to add a D4 to it because I have that as a ratio. So that will make it 15.
It'll change it from a fail to a pass.
Oh, go bunnies.
So again, you feel that kind of like venom starting to course through your body from the site of the puncture wound of this fang, but you manage to get it under control just about the time that you think you start feeling your body starting to try to seize. Okay, that is the dragon's turn. Marco, you're up.
I can see now, which is good. And I think we've established that I am 60 feet away. So I am going to need an intelligence save from the Hydra. DC 15.
Okay. What is this? What
Phantasmal
does
force.
this ability? Is it count as a charm? As a
Doesn't say it's a charm. I create an illusion, so it's illusionary magic
okay.
in the mind of the creature, which doesn't
it
really
fear?
state if a hide. Nope. On a failed
Okay.
save, the creature or object believes basically that the phantasm exists to the extent where it can take 1d6 psychic damage.
Interesting. Okay. It's intelligence.
Yeah.
You said
Yeah, because
intelligence,
the
right?
phantasm includes sound, temperature, and other stimuli. So it's not really a charm condition or anything. It sees the phantasm. And it's DC 15.
Okay. Well, it rolled really well, but its intelligence is abysmally low. So it still failed.
Excellent. So what it sees is, what they don't know is Sister Elsa, a female human paladin, like of the church, essentially bathed in sunlight, like fire burning off of her, is now in the Hydra's mind, is now standing on the coiled Hydra, because it was coiled, lopping off the farthest right head each time is what it sees. So I want it to constantly be trying to like find its right head as she's lopping off right heads to try to keep it a little busy. And because it's her doing that and she's standing on the coil, it should also allow the 1d6 psychic damage from her doing that. And that is 4. But the creature now believes that it has that paladin on it, attacking it constantly, and it can do, where is it? I think it's an intelligence check each time. Yeah, the target can use its action to examine the phantasm with an intelligence check against the DC. If it succeeds, it realizes that it's an illusion and the spell ends. But until that time, it 100% believes it to the point where it's injured.
Okay.
And then I'm going to Bardic. Would go. Well, Dusty's had a rough one, so I'm going to Bardic Dusty. Which I think. Let me see if he's in my range. What is the range of Bardic? I didn't even look. It just says I can see. So yeah, I'm going to give a Bardic for my bonus action to Dusty. And I'm not going to move because I'm stuck. But I'm going to be listening, but be right back.
Okay. All right. That brings us to Lucky's turn.
All right. Well, he's a little disappointed in himself for getting blinded because he didn't have his helmet on. So, and then now he didn't bring the thunder. So he's really got to try to bring the thunder. So he's going to slam his gauntlets together and pound him on his chest first and then thunder wave. So I would need a Constitution saving throw from the Ekans.
Alrighty. What is the DC?
Oh, yeah, good point. Sorry, I had a little
Probably failed.
takeaway here. 19, I believe.
Holy shit. It definitely failed.
Yeah, well, no, plus 3. No, 16, sorry.
Okay, yeah, it still failed.
Okay. Then it takes 3d8. Do you want me to roll that, or do you want to take it?
I can roll.
All right.
It's 15 total.
All right. And then as a bonus action, a reverberation comes out of his chest, a reverberation of energy, and it gives him a defensive field, giving me 5 temporary hit points.
Excellent. Probably a good thing, because he is going to use his legendary action at the end of your turn. He's going to blow all 3 points that he gets for the round on Shake, Rattle, and Roll. Loose rocks shake loose and fall into the canyon as another violent rattle emerges from the snake. Every creature...
Charisma save?
Every creature in the canyon must succeed on a dexterity save. If you are restrained, you have disadvantage.
I has a disadvantage. Oh, hey. Twins.
Okay.
Is that a dexterity save, you said?
Dex save.
Okay, that's going to be a 18. A 16 on the die.
16.
It's nice not to roll with
So
disadvantage.
18. Yeah, it is. That's why I stayed away.
Okay.
Distance.
So, Dusty and Elias will take full damage of 13 points. Lucky, Marco, and Virgil will take half of 6 points. As rocks kind of come tumbling down, kind of cascading onto you, slamming into the side of your body. Several of you who have your feet stuck in the ground, almost kind of knocking you off of your, feet, ankles. Exactly.
Remind me what
Rock's full.
concentration checks are again. So that's 7 damage. So that's
DC of 10.
DC of 10. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And do you add anything to it, or is it just straight?
No, it's just straight Constitution save.
Oh, so it's a Constitution save though.
Correct. Yes, it is.
You add con to it. Yeah. Woo,
Yes, sorry.
14. No worries.
Okay.
I passed. Concentration remains.
Virgil, you also need a con for your
Yes, for the spell to
Whi-
stay.
your Witch Bolt.
That's a
also the
17
DC
on
10.
the die.
Oh yeah. Okay.
17 on the die, so we're good.
Unshaken. Okay, that brings us back to the top of the round.
Like a lasso on a dragon's neck. Just yeehaw.
Virgil, it is your turn.
Okay, so I have a very interesting conundrum that I want to present to you as the DM, only because I have this situation happening, and I want to see if you would allow me to do it. So I currently have Witch Bolt up. Okay, hear me out. Currently have Witch Bolt up. It is a spell that is currently attached to and touching the creature. Would you, if I tried to send Chill Touch through the lightning bolt to then touch the creature around its neck, would you allow such a thing to happen, considering that Chill Touch is a touch attack?
Not a chance in hell.
That's some Swordlock style bullshit right there.
Listen, man. Listen.
Now I'm gonna use my meta magic to turn this touch into a disc.
So can I please use some magic to hurt the monster while I stay away from the monster?
I was like, I'm pretty sure he's gonna be like calling BS on this immediately. But I also thought, hey, Optune Kone is not doing anything. Could I just send a skull with freaking with Chill Touch? Just send a skull out there to bite him? No, I thought about that, but not gonna happen. I'm doing pretty good as it stands. So you know what? The only thing is, I'm 60 feet away from him right now, probably. I was 60 feet before. Haven't really moved from my spot.
He kind of came out from its cave, though, so you're probably closer to like 40 feet from it currently.
40 feet? Okay. Well, here's the thing. Chill Touch would allow it to not regain hit points until the end of my next turn. So I kind of feel like, to benefit the group, risk it for the biscuit might be worth it.
Yourself.
Might be worth it. Yeah, I think I'm gonna try it though. I think I am gonna try it. I don't have a familiar. I don't have a warlock familiar.
You do have inspiration.
I do, but I think I'm gonna try it. I think I'm gonna try Chill Touch. So
You do still have that bardic inspiration.
I do still have the bardic inspiration up, so it's possible it'll work. Okay, here we go. Ooh, okie dokie. That's a good one. Not what I was hoping for, but that's pretty good. And then bardic inspiration is a D8.
Yeah, it's a D8 if you want to use the bardic for attack, or if you need it for a save or anything.
Okay, well, that's well, let's see. I don't need to use that actually. I don't need to use it because with my spellcasting modifier, that should be a 20.
That will hit.
Yeah. So upon touching it, so you see like Virgil kind of in the midst of everything. He's been kind of hunkered down behind this one like section of rock, but after the rocks kind of like buried him a little bit, he kind of like brushes his feathers off, and he'll kind of like serpentine down closer to the Hydra, and he will reach out with a taloned hand and just sort of rake across the scales. And it just creates this sickeningly decayed scar across one of the sections of scales. And we'll roll the beautiful dice. That's 16 damage on that touch, as he's now in there. But now he cannot regain hit points until the end of my next turn.
Okay.
So yeah, I kind of like watch as it sort of spreads across that spot, kind of giving him a black spot, like almost like a, a pirate's mark, and kind of call it out to the rest of the team that I don't think he'll be able to recover for a bit.
You also notice that not only in the spot where you kind of like actually scratched the creature, but where its new like vestigial heads are kind of like growing, those seem to like slow, and you can see the same kind of like black decay kind of like coursing through the new skin as it's like molting as they're
and
growing.
I forgot. I guess my question to you, Jeremy, if I have Witch Bolt up, but I'm moving forward, even though I'm like right there, do I still get to pump that 1d12 into it? Because it hasn't
don't know if it changed
dissipated.
if it changed
does-
anything else from the 2014 version, but from my understanding with the 2014 version, it would still be connected, and you could still,
Yeah,
pump
as long
juice
as it
through it,
doesn't.
even if you're
Yeah, as long
standing
as it
next to
doesn't
them.
go out. Yeah, as long as it doesn't go outside the spell's range. So yeah.
Right.
While we're here, why not try to dump? That's another 3 damage, so not very much. But I guess as he's coming up, he's not losing focus, but it's just not casting as much energy into it. He just kind of the green electric energy just sparking off the front of the heads.
Okay. He used all of his stuff at the end of Lucky's turn. So he is tapped as far as legendary goes. So, Dusty, it is your turn.
All right. What exactly do I need to do if I want to unrestrain myself?
It costs an action.
Okay. My range for my throwing daggers is 20 to 60. That means if it's above 20, I have disadvantage, right?
Correct.
Okay. I think I'm just gonna stay restrained and go for it. Throw out a few attacks here. Well, that was a bad idea. The first one is an 11.
That is a miss.
The second one is a 9.
Also a miss.
Yeah, I think I'm not gonna waste any of my other. You know what? Screw it. I'm gonna do action surge and go ahead and dig myself out of here since I'm doing so terribly.
You have a bardic also. It's a D8.
D8. I can add that to my attacks, right?
Yep.
To one of them.
Okay, that would make one of those. If I did an 11, that would make that an 18 total.
That'll hit.
All right, we'll do that then. 10 damage.
Okay. So, and then you are using your action surge to dig yourself out?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so Dusty, you are no longer restrained. You basically have to kind of like use your hand, maybe even the dagger itself, to kind of like, trowel out some of the ground near your feet to be able to get it loose enough to pull your feet free. Layer actions. Oh, let's leave this one up to a die roll. Okay. I need everybody to make a strength saving throw again, please.
Not the good one. Jeez. Not Nat 1.
Oof.
That's 2 2s for my strength check. Welcome to the 2 crew.
Okay. We'll get Virgil's whenever he gets back. What you got, Todd? There's everybody within 120 feet, so. If you said what it was, you were muted.
I thought I unclicked mute. 13.
13. Okay. Okay. So Dusty is the only one who passes, oddly enough. Having just dug himself free. Everyone else is restrained. Again, sand liquefies and then re-solidifies around you.
I'm so
Okay.
glad I passed. That would have been unfortunate to use action.
Yeah,
surge to
that
get
would
out
have,
and get
yeah.
immediate.
That was layer action. Elias, it is your turn again.
Cool. Whiffed on the first one. 21.
That'll definitely hit.
And that is 13 points of damage.
Oof, okay. Okay, it now has 5 heads remaining. It is currently not able to regrow any on its turn. Okay. It is going to attempt its... No, it is not. It has not recharged its death rattle. Alright, so 5 attacks.
It also has a phantasm on it that it thinks is real.
It will... One of its heads will attack the phantasm. The other 4 are going to bite. We've got 2 headed towards Lucky and 2 headed towards Virgil. Lucky, your AC is still a 19. Is that correct? Okay. You are restrained, right? Ooh, woof. Okay. It's going to crit you on the first one. Holy fucking shit. It literally just rolled another critical on the same die. Okay. That's going to be... Woof, woof, woof. Alright. That's 11. Oof, Dusty. Or Lucky, rather. And... Okay. So the 2 heads that go after Lucky, Lucky, it just so happens that you kind of like look down to try to, you know, like see if you can't pull your legs free from the ground that's kind of holding you prisoner, and you look up too late to realize that you can't get out of the way, and one head bites and the next bites, and both of their fangs pierce just below like your shoulders into either side of your like pec in your chest. You take a total of 45 points of damage. I need you to make 2 Constitution saving throws, please.
I don't think it matters if he was at 27 hit points, does it?
It won't matter. No.
The good news is you're still not dead.
You are not dead. But
Yeah.
You know what? Actually, please do go ahead and make the con saves, because this is venom, and this is going to be like literally your system either fighting this or not. And whenever you go to make death saves, it will matter.
So just my system, or am I going to be at disadvantage since I'm unconscious?
No, I don't think you'll be at disadvantage for this, because your body is, you know, even though you're unconscious, your body's going to do what it's going to do.
Uh, 16 and a 9.
That's okay. So the 16 will pass. However, the 9 will not. So the way that this particular venom works is it is a paralysis, and you take 2d6 poison damage at the start of your turn. Which means, before you even get the chance to make a death save, you're going to get damaged and automatically fail it. So this is going to get bad real fast for Lucky. All of you see this creature take 2 massive bites out of him. His whole body like seizes, and whenever the Hydra releases him, he collapses into a heap. You can kind of see, like, it's that kind of thing where like his back like arches involuntarily, and almost kind of like locks in that position. Okay, Virgil isn't here. We will see what happens whenever he gets back. I need him to roll to see if he is restrained, and then he's got 2 attacks coming his way. Okay. Marco, it is your turn.
So it didn't use its turn on the phantasm, so that's automatic 1d6 there.
Mm-hmm.
But it's still there, so that's 1 whole point of damage. Lovely for that. I assume that Lucky is within 60 feet of me.
I think so. How far away were you from?
I was less than 60 feet before, and he's
Then
probably...
yes.
Yep. So I am going to go ahead and bonus action first level healing word to Lucky, which will bring him back up. And it is 1d4 plus 4. And that is 6 points of health back to Lucky as we play the yo-yo game. And because I had the phantasm up, I'm concentrating, so I don't do anything that does concentration. Fuck it, I got spell slots. Let's go ahead and get a wisdom saving throw for some dissonant whispers.
Wisdom
DC 15.
throw. That's probably not going to do it. No, nowhere near it.
Awesome. So this is 3d4 plus 4. Oh, where's my d4s? I'm playing a bard or a wizard. I need more d4s. Never a fun thing to... There we go. So 3d4 plus 4. Yeah, that's pretty good for this. 12.
12 points of damage.
Yep. 12 points of psychic damage, and that has burned a 3rd level, a 1st level, and all my actions, bonus action economy. And I am frozen in place because I am still trapped in the quicksand.
Okay.
And we're on. Mr.
All right. That was Marco, which brings us to Lucky's turn.
Roll that beautiful poison damage.
All right. 2d6.
Oh, that's continuous, huh?
Yup. That is 10 points of poison damage.
And we're back.
So you visually see him spaz and start to breathe, realize where he's at and go to get up, and then convulse and vomit and then fall back unconscious.
Okay.
This time your death saves are preset.
Virgil, it was your turn. Virgil's still not there. Okay. Dusty, it is your turn.
All right. A one-trick coyote. I'm going to try this again. I'll let the knife fly. That first roll is going to be a nat 20.
That'll do.
So, how are we doing crits in this one?
So it is your maximum dice plus all of your modifiers. So max total damage that you could do. And then you roll your dice and add your modifiers a second time.
All right.
That's why
let's
those
see.
crits hurt so bad whenever Lucky got 2 of them.
I'm looking for one of my.
By the way, Chad, that's the first time I've seen that happen in a long time. A monster get 2 crits in the same turn. That's filthy.
Hey, let it happen.
Yeah, I mean,
Role playing game. Let's go.
yeah, especially when it has advantage.
I'm playing it. Not the cleanest guy, you know. That's why. Reroll. That's no problem.
So I am going to use another superiority die to do what is it? What is precision attack?
Okay.
Which will allow me to add to my die roll. So that's going to be 8, 12. It's going to be 18 before I do anything else.
Yep.
And then that's going to be 7, 11, so 29
Will also hit.
for the first attack.
Oh, that's the damage.
That's the damage for the first attack.
Oh. Okay. I'm going to hit pause real quick. Because that will have killed it. So,
Okay.
be thinking about what that looks like. However, brief rewind before that actually takes place, because now Chad is back. Chad, I need you to make a strength saving throw, please.
That's a 16 because I got a 17 on the die minus the
Okay.
1, so that's 16 for me.
So you passed. So you are not restrained, so it will
Okay.
not have advantage against these attacks against you. What is your AC?
AC though, here's the thing: being a warlock, you're a squishy cannon, so I only have a 14.
Okay. He's going to hit you twice. So you're going to take piercing damage to the tune of 18 points from the 2 attacks.
Ow!
And then I need you to make
Ow!
2 Constitution saving throws, please.
You got it. So wait, 18 twice or 18
No,
once?
18 total.
18 total. Okay.
Yeah.
18 total.
The total between the 2 of them was 18.
18 damage. Okay. And then I need to make 2
2 Constitution
saving?
saves. Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, that one's okay. That's 15 plus 2. That's 17 for the first one, and then 13 plus 2, 15 for the second one.
A pass on both. Narrowly on the second one.
Okay.
So you managed to save against the paralytic that was trying to course through your body.
He's over here just biting into me, I think, because I got way too close.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So now we fast forward back to Dusty's turn. Your dagger flies, and Nathan, please describe what it looks like as you finally kill the dragon of Coalbox Canyon.
So, while I do have a quote unquote dagger that's similar to Crocodile Dundee's knife, I don't quite know that it's big enough to actually sever the heads of this creature. So I think instead, Dusty lets out this growling howl towards the creature, and to attempt to see if he can kind of line up the heads in a way that he can hit them all. And he just, one last ditch effort, launches this knife, and whatever heads are left, it just goes in the neck underneath like the jawline, slides through, hits the next one, and just keeps going until it's hit, at least put a hole in each of the necks. And then when he calls it back, it just goes right back through that same gap as the heads are starting to fall away. Also, I forgot what shirt I was wearing, but
Bingo.
Fantastic. The last head of this rattlesnake hydra rips free, being chewed away by the successive strikes of all of you. It falls to the ground with a thud, followed by the body and all of its necks that collapse into the spring and the surrounding snow and sand and rock here at the end of Coalbox Canyon. And I think this is where we're going to take our break. So we're going to take a 10-minute bio, refill our drinks, smoke them if you got them, kiss your spouse, etc., etc. Sit tight out there in TV land until we get back. And we'll be back with the second part of session 12 of Thunder Ridge. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the second part of tonight's episode of Thunder Ridge. This is session 12, Coalbox Canyon. We are now rejoining the 5 of our heroes? Question mark. Here in Coalbox Canyon, where they have just defeated a dragon. Air quote. It was in fact actually a rattlesnake hydra that had been calling this box canyon its home, and had inspired no shortage of fear in the locals. But seems like that creature is no longer going to be an issue, as this creature has just been felled, and we are seeing the immediate aftermath of that. What are you doing? What are you saying on the tail end of this combat?
I think Virgil is probably the first to respond. I think Lucky is down currently, right? Still currently down.
Yeah, I'll pop Lucky
Correct.
back up then. I'll give him another.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna go do spare the dying on him if nobody had.
No, I
recovered.
can just pop a healing word on him.
Okay.
So yeah, I'll give you another first level healing word. Lucky, you are gonna get 7 health back, and yeah, I assume we're gonna be. Well, I don't assume. If we end up taking a short rest during this time frame in a minute, I can do Song of Rest, which will give you guys extra hit dice. So
I think Virgil, very much like his Volturan bloodline would attest to. I think there's this moment, like, when, let's say, especially in Westerns, like when the cowboy does something really cool against, like, that he wasn't expecting would go right because there's insurmountable odds that this would work. There's like this prospector like dance almost that he does. Ah! Did you see that? And he goes over and he hugs Dusty like heavy, like the wings just wrap around Dusty. You just killed a dragon, Dusty. Ah! I never seen that. Oh. And then I think to celebrate, he, like, as you watch how owls walk, like how owls walk and whatever, the vulture will, like, he'll just sort of like start hop skipping. He's just happy right now. He survived this mythical creature. This whole group worked very well together, and we're in this moment, and I think he's gonna go over to one of the heads and see if he can't dislodge one of the fangs from one of the heads to give to Dusty as a throwing knife. I'm gonna try and dislodge one of the.
Virgil, before you go desecrating the corpse, maybe we should consider potentially using this as a distraction if we decide to take up residence in said cave. I'm not saying souvenirs wouldn't be.
I wasn't expecting to take
but,
all of it. I was just going to take one. And for you.
No, I'm just suggesting maybe we take one from a more hidden area or a more hidden head. This might be a good deterrent.
Oh, I see.
Before it goes spoiling.
No, you're right. And he sort of like he'll start. You see as he like hops up on the whole, like he tries to like clamber up the side of one of the big coils, and then he'll like dig his body, kind of like burrow down in, and sort of like you hear a moment. Hold on. and he'll get to like one of the hidden 6 heads that are down in the bottom of the coils, and he'll try to dislodge one of the hidden heads fangs for Dusty.
Okay. I mean, it definitely takes some prying and some, maybe even some cutting back on the gums, but you can definitely remove one of the multitude of fangs that this creature has.
So this thing is quite large, I assume, and it's obviously a corpse now, so it's going to begin to rot at some point. We are in winter, it's cold, it's snowy, so Dusty's kind of hoping it's going to take a little bit of time.
Corpse.
But Dusty would like to try to convince the rest of the party, if we decide to take up residence in this cave for however much time, to kind of pull this creature back into the entrance to the cave, leaving ourselves a path to enter and exit, but kind of try to arrange this creature so that anybody that's walking up on this cave may see this and decide it's not worth venturing in farther.
I suspect anybody with common sense would see the bones out there and probably turn around.
Well, yeah, but it's not going to be bones for quite some time.
I
Might
meant
as
the
well make
pile of
use of it
bones
until it's
we
bones.
saw out there. The elk, the bear, the people.
I mean, we all saw those bones, and we're still here.
I said smart people.
Fair
I
point.
think-
Fair point.
I think we skin it and see if anyone wants. Like, do you think it's sacred to the local people? I hope not. Is there a lower roll or any way we could see if they would want it or if it would be a bad thing?
That's a good question, because I didn't even think about that when
Anybody
I
could
pulled the tooth.
try. You could try a history roll.
Typical colonizer. But this mountain is so good to carve the face of my presidents into. It's a 23.
Okay. Your guess is whether a force of good or ill, that if the locals in Thunder Ridge had mythology surrounding this creature, that it stands to reason that the Dorathians do as well. And they don't tend to look very kindly at forces of nature being taken out.
So maybe hide the fang dagger when we're hanging out with them. You know, I like your puppet idea.
It occurs to me that as you say this, Marco, there's a skull floating around me.
He could have said something. We know he talks.
He could have. He's probably just judging me silently.
Definitely looks that way whenever you kind of like cast your glance back. Just kind of
Yep.
hovering there, staring at you.
Deadpan.
Oh,
Yes.
crap. I don't think Marcos knows that your patron is that hanging tree.
No, I don't think so.
I was gonna say, there's a lot of necks there.
Yeah.
Lots of necks to hang.
You could knock out like decent amount of.
I don't know if monster counts, but I could certainly try it.
Yeah, we're gonna find out with that attitude. Yeah.
Just send a monster to the gallow tree. That sounds great.
That's what they said when they hung Pap Pap.
It took 2 nooses. Um. Okay.
I'm gonna look in the cave to see if we have babies to kill.
Oh, that's a good point.
I mean, it's a good
You
chance
look-
it was defending its home.
You look in the cave, and though you do not find any kind of eggs or babies, you do see the nest of this hydra, which seems to have been formed inside the rib cage of a giant skeleton that is inside this cave.
Oh, the actual dragon.
No, like a humanoid giant.
Oh,
Bones are kind of, not scattered, but not exactly placed in a skeletal arrangement. But there is a rib cage and a pelvic bone and a skull and several long bones and a lot of other small various bones that are largely all together still inside this cave. And it looks like the Hydra chose the rib cage to build its nest inside of. You see a collection of other kinds of bones, similar to what you saw in the rest of the canyon. Various animals, various humanoids, all kind of gathered around. The smell in this cave is not super great. The hot spring that's nearby, keeps this cave kind of warm, but also very moist. So there's definitely kind of like a dank decay smell in this cave. But in addition to that, you also find lots and lots of treasure. So I need anybody, roll some dice for me. We'll figure out what that is here once PDF reloads. Roll me a D100.
I vote Todd. Todd, roll a D100. Elias.
give me a second.
Oh, looks like Chad got you.
Beat you to it like a rented mule.
28. Okay, so Todd, roll me 2d4 instead.
Okay. Snake eyes.
Ooh.
Ooh. Let me see.
Nice.
Where is that table? Okay, someone else, a third person, please roll me a d10. Chad, other Chad.
I'd do
Chadimus Prime.
it. Yep, I'd do it. I always forget which one is the actual D10. Like,
Yes,
like
correct.
whenever-
Singular
Um,
One
d10.
with 20 sides.
That'll be a 6 on the die, sir.
A 6. Interesting. I don't know what that would translate to.
This is DM speak to keep rolling dice while I try to find where the fucking
Please.
tables are.
No,
Please
no.
wait
So-
in the holding cell till we figure it out.
I'm going to change this slightly because what it actually is doesn't quite fit Caldera, I don't think.
Okay.
The actual result is silk robe with gold embroidery.
Nice.
so-
okay.
Instead, what I think this is like a really nice buckskin set of clothing that are old Dorathian, that have a lot of the hand beadwork that's done on it. Those are worth 250 gold apiece. Erethian buckskin garments with beadwork.
And what's the quantity you said on that?
2.
Got it.
2 of the bodies apparently were wearing these, and though they're look very, very old, they're still in really, really good condition. 250 gold each. Okay. In addition, you also find there is a humanoid skull that has an axe implanted inside of it. And both the axe and the skull are covered with green vegetation and flowers and fungal growth. This
That's
tomahawk
so cool.
it looks absolutely ancient.
It's gnarly.
Nice.
Is there anything that y'all are doing or saying as you are finding these things?
How expansive is this cave? Like, how far back does this thing seem like it goes?
It's decent size. Obviously there's not like, a multitude of rooms or anything, but it probably has the large maid chamber with like a small like exit back in the back. Well, I say small compared to the opening of the cave.
Right.
And then there's a secondary chamber. And then there's like a small passageway that kind of snakes from the second chamber back a little bit of ways until there is a third chamber. It looks like maybe that there was a secondary spring or something back here that kind of eroded a passage out into the canyon.
Okay.
So there's like 3 chambers, and in total you're probably looking at, I don't know, probably like 1,200 square feet.
Okay,
of
that's
like
actually not
usable,
bad.
yeah,
Good
of like
size
usable
apartment these
space.
days.
Yeah. So I think one couple of things that Virgil will try to do as we're going around. For one, I want to take a look at that tomahawk. I do. But
Mhm.
I also think that he would want to start a fire for the group in here. So he's probably like going around picking up like wood, any other detritus that can be set on fire. He's gonna like, start gathering up those materials to start a fire in this cave. If we plan on trying to use this as our hideaway, maybe even trying to like bring the horses in to like let them get warmed up by the fire, kind of inside the space. So kind of doing some house sitting. I think that also you said that like there's this giant rib cage in here.
Yes, it's literally a giant's rib cage.
I'm wondering if we could potentially use like the hides from like the canvas tents and stuff. Things that like we would have had for our tents, and then like lash those over the top and create like a tent, like a larger canopy situation for our group to kind of mingle in from the canvas hides that we had. Potentially even maybe some of the snake skin if it's pliable enough.
There's definitely a lot of that, especially around the nest inside the rib cage.
Yeah,
still
there's
drippy.
definitely
Yeah.
that kind of whitish, semi-transparent. You can very clearly see the scale pattern on it, and it's easily 3-4 feet across in diameter.
So between the actual canvas that we have and like the snakeskin hides and things like that we could potentially find, I'm gonna try to like just kind of do a little Virgil housekeeping for the group and kind of, you know, have a celebration. It's we survived a insurmountable thing and I'm proud of it.
At one point, Virgil, you are, you know, pulling some of the detritus, the bones and stuff kind of out from the kind of near the back of maybe, you know, the secondary chamber or something. And everybody is kind of more closer to the opening. And at first you think you see something move out of the corner of your eye. And when you kind of look that direction, you could have sworn that you saw faintly Saul like walk around a bend in like the passageway, and you hear from deeper within the cave,
it's noise gating you.
Yeah, I was saying you noise gated out, like it's really faint whispering.
It's
We
not
got
catching it.
Interpretive
Yay.
beatboxing.
It said Virgil.
Virgil. Okay, I heard
Virgil.
that. I heard
Okay.
it. I heard it enough. Yeah. There's this moment I think in the secondary chamber where he's kind of walking around looking at stuff, trying to assess the whole area. And he like cocks his gun. He's getting paranoid now at this point. And then he follows he like looks at it and it sounds like soul and it looked like soul. There's no way. There's no way. But
Just to clarify, while you think you saw Soul, it did not sound
did not sound like
like
soul.
soul.
It sounded
It sounded like
something,
the Gallow Tree.
the Gallow Tree. Ah, okay. And I think if he knows that sound, that voice, he'll head in the direction that motion went, but he's on edge now. And I think he's going to talk to himself as he goes. Yeah. I know I still owe you that debt. It's coming. I promise you that it's coming.
Do you have dark vision, Virgil?
I do. Yeah. Dark vision up to
Excellent.
120 feet. Yep.
So you were able to see perfectly well in this dark cave.
Yep.
Shades of black and white, this kind of grayscale of all these stalactites and stalagmites from the completely lost word. Nutrient-rich waters have deposited this sediment over time. And as you are kind of like looking under an outcropping into the third and final chamber, just as you kind of like go to enter, something falls from the ceiling above you and then stops and swings, and it takes you just a second, but in mere feet in front of you, it's you hanging by a noose, just swinging back and forth slowly.
If a bird could have a cold sweat, that definitely does it. To feel your own, like to feel your talons on your head, and then to like back up and like see your full visage. Okay. I'd imagine that means that you're angry with me. Well, then, if you are, speak plainly. Let's have a conversation. You want to have a conversation? Let's have one.
There is no reply.
He watches, he sort of like paces around this third chamber, kind of like a chicken that's been cooped up too long in a hen house. Just sort of like circle. And then once he sort of gains his composure back, he wipes the front of his beak. It's all right, Virgil. It's all right. It's just near-death experiences. That's all it is. It's all it is. It's just a trick of the mind. It's a trick of the mind. Just go back in there and celebrate with your boys. Yeah. Ain't no time to think about death yet. Not yet. He sort of like, and then he'll walk back into the chambers, and his demeanor goes from fear, and he sort of tries to placate it with peace and acceptance. Like the gregarious nature that he had earlier, he's trying so hard to keep that presence up in the state of fear that he's currently in.
As you're passing your body to exit this chamber, you hear a tick, 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 tick noise coming from one of your pockets. A ticking noise, repetitive, rhythmic.
God damn it. And he'll reach into that pocket and he'll look at the watch.
You pull it out.
That's taking...
It is, in fact, a pocket watch. So instead of being at the end of a chain, it is at the end of a rope.
Oh.
And as you open the pocket watch, you can see the second hand approaching what is either noon or midnight, though it is not close to either of those times currently. And as you do so, your body reaches up and grabs your wrist, its eyes alight with the pale green, ghastly glow of the gallow tree, and its clothes fall away, and carved into its chest, your own chest, you see 4 empty nooses.
Kind of like you see this moment where I think he understands what is to happen. What the gallow tree is trying to say without words. That you've prolonged this enough that now I don't need 1, now I don't need 2, now I need all. It's all or you, and you have to choose. And I think there's this moment where he's looking into the other room. He sees all 4 of his companions. And you see that he doesn't make a decision at this very moment. But he is very, very well aware that there has been a new contract presented to him and established. as he closes the pocket watch and will allow that ticking to sort of eat at him like the telltale heart.
You close this pocket watch, and with the snap of it shutting, the grisly visage, the gruesome sight of your own corpse hanging before you evaporates into a ghastly green mist. What are the rest of you up to while Virgil is playing with himself in the back of the cave?
I know that Virgil or Chad had mentioned something about looking at this tomahawk. So I don't know if that happened before all of this or if he ever got to that point. If not, or if he hasn't moved it, I think Dusty's looking at it. I don't think he is touching it or anything at the moment. I think he's a little wary of because of things that have happened recently. But he is examining it as it sits where it's at.
Okay. Yeah, it certainly remains just as you first saw it, embedded in this skull, almost grown into place with the vegetation and fungal spreads that are kind of all over it. So you definitely get the impression that you'll probably, whoever, will have to definitely spend time, effectively a short rest, in possession of the item before it will give up any information beyond the fact that it is a very old looking tomahawk.
I think Dusty's going to consult any of the group that has magical abilities. It's kind of their thing before he does any messing or touching or anything. Actually, I think he probably goes to Lucky and asks Lucky to have a kind of a glance at it before, and then if Lucky gives the seal of approval or hoping that it's not cursed or anything, then maybe Dusty would take it and spend the time with it.
Lucky would be a little short with you because he was just paralyzed, unconscious twice, probably shat his pantaloons and vomited all over. So he's like prestidigitationing himself and his armor, and then he's like curing his own wounds, trying to get himself back up from 7 HP, you know. So he's like a little short, and yeah, I'm not taking care of anything else right now. I'll get right to that. And he could detect magic, but I don't think he can identify it particularly.
Okay.
So, but he might be able to like arcane check it or something like that. But he's a little preoccupied for a little bit first.
Understood.
That's fine.
A detect magic will absolutely reveal that it's magical.
I actually do have both, so I would be able to identify it. I can save a spell slot for that, or we can deal with it tomorrow, or
I
what
can
have
do a persuasion check just to make Rusty hold it for an hour. Like, pick it up, man. It's probably fine.
I mean, as long as no one like tells him not to, eventually he's going to take it anyways, and he'll spend the time with it.
Going to touch
he's
it.
just
You might as well touch it.
he's just trying to avoid another incident like we had back in the other cave.
Okay. So you spend the equivalent of a short rest with this tomahawk. And at the end of that time, you come to understand what this item is. This item is a magical axe called Kichkehile. This weapon grants a +2 bonus to attack and damage. The tomahawk has 5 charges. As an action, you can embed this weapon into a skull and expend a charge to cast the Speak with Dead spell. If you do so, flowering plants and fungus temporarily grow over the skull to vaguely resemble the deceased's face in life before it speaks. The tomahawk regains 1d4 + 1 expended charges daily at dawn. If you expend the last charge, roll a d20. On a 1, the tomahawk crumbles to rotten wood and fungal spores and is destroyed.
It's like somebody wanted to know what that person knew.
So just to be clear, if I embed this tomahawk in someone's skull that just happens to be alive before it gets embedded, I can still talk to them afterwards, right?
Maybe. Jason asked it in the chat, asked a similar question. Does the skull need to be a dead skull?
Yeah.
I guess it'll take some experimenting.
I cast Speak with Living. And I hit you with the skull. Or with the axe.
Okay.
As far as the tomahawk goes, Dusty's not going to keep it for himself if someone else wants it. So he would, learning what he knows about it, he would kind of
It's a thrown
explain
weapon.
to the group, and then potentially add it to his arsenal if nobody else wants or needs it. But he's not going to hog it immediately to himself if someone else wants or needs.
Mechanically, it will count as a hand axe? Throwing axe? Both, probably. Yeah, definitely not dexterity. It would be a thrown weapon. But not finesse.
So Dusty could use it, just maybe not to its. It won't be. He won't have the same bonuses he would to his daggers, but it could definitely prove useful.
Okay. At the very least, it sounds like it's going with you.
At the least, the local tribe might want it. They may not want that we killed their Hydra, but they may want. Hey, we found this.
Does anybody want to talk to the Hydra by chance?
I'd be more interested in talking to the skull that it's embedded in. But
Okay.
so it wasn't
you
a giant skull, right? It was just a regular skull that it was embedded in.
Correct. There is a giant skull in the cave. Part of the collection of bones that this thing seemed to have nested in. Okay. So you have killed the dragon of Coalbox Canyon. You have found a potentially good hideout. Virgil may or may not be in deeper water than he was before. And you found a little bit of treasure, and a magic item.
Yes.
I think that's what we're going to call it tonight. Unless there's anything that anybody needs to do or wants to do before we call it a night.
No, I'm good.
Okay. So, yeah. So next time we'll have to figure out where our first little soiree is going to be away from our cave. We
We got ahead today.
I would like to poway.
Wow. Twoo. Wow. All right. So, yeah, great session, y'all. It's been, God, I don't know, 3 months since we got into play.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So I'm really happy that we managed to all of us be here.
I felt so like it was so good because I was so glad that we like this session was like, ooh, we get to do a little bit of combat, right? Like we get to do some combat because
Right.
if you had asked me to just go raw into RP after 3 months, I'd have been like, nah, can't do it. Can't do it.
Oh, you would have been
I'd
fine.
had to have I'd had to have like a cold restart, like a cold reset. Just like, hold up, wait a minute.
It
Where
would've
were
taken
we?
you about
What did we
5
do?
seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where were we? What were we doing?
Remind me the motivation of my character again.
Who
Right.
who am I? Who am I and what do I do?
Oh, it's good. Like I said, I've been very much looking forward to being able to share that with y'all. That monster. I was
was
really
fun,
really
though.
stoked about that. It's one of the best things about Caldera in my mind. One of the funnest things about being the world building in the Caldera is finding that fun balance between what is still Western and what is still fantasy, and coming up with monsters that are kind of both is a lot of fun. I ran a Caldera campaign, the very, very first thing of this channel, and they fought a cactus treant at one point. That was a lot of fun.
Oh, that's dope.
They fought a hill giant that used a vault safe door as a shield from a bank, and wielded a railroad tie that had a mission bell on the end of it as a flail.
Nice.
So it's just a lot of fun to kind of think in that headspace of like what fits with a Western theme, but is still like a recognizable monster from fantasy. So I was really happy whenever I got the chance to throw a rattlesnake hydra out there. So thank all of you very much for letting me beat you up with it. Okay, I'm going to pass things over to my players so that they can give any kind of parting words that they would like to touch once again on anything they may have going on, or where you may be able to find them or not on the internet. And then I think we're going to call it a night. So we're going to start in the same order that we did before, with Chadamus Prime.
Yeah. So this has been really great. I'm very glad that we get to come back and do this because I missed you guys. I missed you guys a lot. And the fact that we got to kill a Hydra tonight, pretty much on my bucket list of things that I've wanted to do in life. So we're good. We're good, guys. Yeah, Jeremy, as always, thanks, buddy, for just letting me come to your table and having fun. If you haven't watched, if you're just joining us and you've not watched any of the rest of Jeremy's channel, what are you doing? What are you doing with your life? This man has quite a few, and I mean that as a fan because I've watched every one of them. There are numerous campaigns on this channel that I will say, to me, both the players that you choose and your GMing style, like the stories you tell are immaculately beautiful, bro. They're just so fun. They're just and like it, I think a lot of it has to do with the people you pick, the chemistry that's there, but also it's the way you weave that story. You find the people with the chemistry and then you weave that storyline so brilliantly every single time. So super proud of you, super love you, and yeah, that's me. That's my soapbox for tonight. I'm done.
Thank you, Chad. I appreciate that immensely, man. Always the kind words really do really do mean a lot, and thank you. Yes, I'm incredibly fortunate in the people that I get to play with, the tables that I get to build to run all of my campaigns. Honestly, they're all, I feel the same way about all of them. The campaigns aren't good on their own. You know, the players are what makes them good. It's y'all that gives me the material to work from, to draw from, and to create a story that is hopefully player character first and foremost. You know, I want to build the story that involves y'all's characters as much as I possibly can, because it increases investment on your part, and it makes it a much more human story that way. I'm allowed to kind of bring in a lot more emotion than I might normally if it was just kind of typical soapbox fantasy. So yeah, thank you for being those kinds of players, always. Next up, we have Nathan.
I think I have to second just about everything Chadamus Prime said. I feel the exact same way. This ever since discovering Jeremy, watching Dawnbringers playing Talmud, I've been hooked. And then to find his actual channel and start watching some of those games, and then to be invited to play on his channel, I'm completely addicted now. Both to the quality that Jeremy runs a game, but like Chad said, also the players that he brings to the table. I don't think I've ever seen or been a part of a miscasting. It's always been a great set of people, great chemistry, great group, and a great game. Yeah. So just pretty much second everything that Chad was saying, except one thing. You mentioned the campaigns, but I think too, if you skip over or gloss over the one shots or the trilogies that aren't really trilogies, I think you're missing some very golden moments in there too, because the one thing that I truly love about a Jeremy game, especially in one shots, is that we don't go too far off the rails, but Jeremy allows us to play with that rule of cool and tell a cool story. And we can get away with a little bit more of that, I think, in one shots and shorter games than some of the campaigns. And I know from experience that Chad has done some bonkers things in some of Jeremy's one shots. And every time I hear the phrase, Jeremy, I want to pick your brain, or let me see if I can do this, or let me run this by you, I'm always like, all right, I cannot wait to find out what's going to happen next. Whether it works or not, I can't wait. And it's fantastic. I'm always happy to be here. I'm happy to be back in Caldera. I have definitely missed this. Definitely missed you guys. Missed Dusty. And I don't think I've ever fought a Hydra before, but I've definitely never fought a rattlesnake Hydra. So I won't forget it either. So thank you for having me, Jeremy. I greatly appreciate it, and I can't wait to be back again.
Dude, always. I'm happy that I could be your first Hydra. That makes me happy. I always like finding new monsters for people to experience in these games. So that makes me very happy. And thank you very much, Nathan. The feeling is definitely mutual, man. I'm honored that I get to run games for as many people as I do. That I have the ability to do that, and that people aren't sick of seeing my face and hearing my voice. So that makes me happy. All right, next up we've got Todd.
That was awesome. It was super fun today. Really happy that we could get back into it. It's hard getting everybody together. But we made it happen. So awesome. Thank you.
Hell yeah, man. Teamwork makes the dream work. Yeah, it's definitely one of those things where scheduling is the highest CR monster in the game. It's really true. So I'm really happy that the stars aligned and allowed us to get together and play this session. So absolutely, I second that wholeheartedly. All right, next up we've got Glenn.
Hey, reiterating a lot of the positives that came out of that. It was an absolute blast. Everybody gets a chance to play a Jeremy game if you can't get into a Jeremy game because he's pretty popular, hard to get a hold of. Then, check out Ad Tab. As Lucky Laz had said before, it's a really cool community. Great little setup for it. And if you can't do that, there's a bunch of other ways out there, or fuck it, buy the books, rent the books, go to your library, probably has the books, and run your own damn game. And invite us, because people who run games never have a shortage of people to play. So with that, keep your Hydra hanging, and I'll see you next time.
Here. Absolutely. All the places that were mentioned throughout, whether it was the beginning or the end here, AbTab, as well as Mini Train Domain, I highly recommend that if you enjoyed what you saw here, that you go and check them out as well. Both very amazing communities full of a lot of the same people, but just a ton of very creative, supportive, inclusive people that hang out there and share ideas, and sometimes games get put together. But like Glenn said, if you feel strongly about playing and you just cannot seem to find a full table full of people, run the game. I promise you'll find players that way. And if you just keep doing it, eventually you'll find players that gel really well together, and you'll have a great time. I promise. That's how I ended up running games, was nobody else wanted to. So I was like, fine, I want to play bad enough that I will run the game. And I learned to love it. All right, last but not least, Chad Squared.
I mean, I hope I'm not a square, but I'll take it. Like, let's see, Ultra Magnus, so it'd be like Ultra Chadmus or something.
Chad Omega, the last.
There we go. I will take it. I loved the Rattler Hydra. So thematic and on the nose, perfect. And then the introduction was like chef's kiss. And thank you for that. And then getting to fight it, I mean, it fought me. I didn't really fight it, but that's okay. And that was just some wrong choices on his part, but you know what? It fit because he was caught off guard. So, and like he wants to be a fighter, but it's not really. So, that's kind of what gets him unconscious all the time. But that's the fun of the game. It's not, you're not plot armor where nothing's gonna happen. You gotta take it as it comes. So that's a blast, and I don't need to plug anybody. That's already been done. So I could plug though. You can support Jeremy over on there's like a thingamajigger over here, and he has a shop. You could get like big old Critties t-shirts and stuff. And thank you, Vanna, you did great. And then you can even go and check him out on Start Playing. And if you really wanted to get into a game with him, you just get into it. That's really what I did. Let's be honest. And so those are the things you could do. And it was a pleasure as always. And I apologize, had bronchitis last time. It's still kicking my ass. But here we go. Here we are. So thank you all.
Yeah, man. I'm super glad that you were feeling well enough to join us and play with us tonight. And thank you. Okay. Yeah. Thank all of you very much for being so gracious to hire me to run this game, so I can give the chance to play some more Caldera and tell another hopefully fun story. This is a part of Caldera that I had not explored much previously, so I'm really happy to kind of show that aspect of the Wild West, kind of that frozen mountain, isolated region. So yeah, I'm having a blast with it, and I will continue to do so. So for all of you who tuned in this evening, thank you very, very much for spending a little bit of your time with us here. I know that everybody's free time is very precious, and I know that it is difficult whenever you sit down to watch a video to commit to a 3+ hour, commitment. Specifically one that goes on for multiple sessions. I know that that's asking a lot this day and age in particular. So thank you. It is genuinely, deeply, from the bottom of my heart, appreciated. I love the fact that this is not just going out into the void and not getting any kind of response at all. I love the fact that there are people who come here and find some modicum of entertainment and value here, whatever that might be. So if you did enjoy what you saw this evening, please do all the stuff that the algorithm likes to see. Hit the like button, subscribe, leave a comment, share the link around, talk about it with your friends. Run Caldera. Run Caldera. If you're interested, ask me. I can send you the Google Doc. You can check it out. Run it for your table. What else? What else? Remember, kindness is a free action. It costs you absolutely nothing to be kind to other people. And dear God, does the world need more kindness in it right now in particular. It just so happens that kindness is actually how we change everything that's wrong with the world. Everything starts with kindness. And kindness doesn't have to cost you anything. It is something you can give easily, free, and it can make all of the difference in somebody's life. So, go out there, be kind. Unless they're a Nazi, then you should kick them in the groin until their balls are in their throat. Yeah.
Wolfenstein campaign.
Dude, I have seriously been wanting to run a Wolfenstein, like, super heavy occult Nazi bashing game. It's in the pipe somewhere.
Nice.
Yes. All right, I think that's it. We're going to go ahead and get out of here. So until next time, may your dice roll high and your snacks always be within reach.